It's the Subway NFL postgame show, and Minnesota had a 14-7 lead at the half, but really wasn't a good indication of how the game was going because they weren't playing that well. Dallas comes out in the second half and blows them away. 24-14, the final. The Cowboys 6-1, and now they get the real test after New England last week. They go on the road, take on Philadelphia and the Giants in the next couple of weeks. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz alongside NFL.com's Pat Kerwin and CBS Sports' Charlie Casserly. And Charlie, you said it right before we started this. This game could have been a lot worse than this, and it should have been a lot worse than this had they not turned it over in the red zone. Dallas is its own worst enemy. If they don't turn it over, this is an offense that probably can't be stopped.
No, and one of the objectives for Tony Romo coming into the year, according to the Cowboys and Tony Romo, is I got to protect the ball better. Well, he gave up some turnovers today, and because of that, Minnesota stayed in the game. Obviously, this game wasn't close. Minnesota, again, what do you do against them? You throw the ball. They're hard to run against. Dallas moved up and down the field, but turnovers kept Minnesota in the game.
And, Pat, I mean, Romo had more than 30 passes in the first half. I mean, that hits Charlie's point right on the head. You come out and you throw. You don't worry about the run because you know they have a good run defense. You can beat them with the pass.
Yeah, Bill Belichick showed us the formula last year. You go out and you play the Minnesota Viking defense. You don't fool around with the running game. You go out and throw the football. That's what they intended to do here, and they have the weapons to do that. T.O. had a nice day. It's 7 receptions, and he's doing a fine job, and they have ways. And I thought we saw a lot from Romo against this team. On the other side of the coin, the Minnesota Vikings are playing with a young quarterback, and they're in a learning curve. Yep. And they're learning about him, and they can't really do much more and expect more from him until he's been in this game a while.
Tavares Jackson was 5 of 17 on the day. It is 50-some yards. Charlie, when you guys were looking, when he came out into the draft, and you guys were looking at him, do you remember what were your thoughts about Tavares Jackson?
Yeah, I thought he was a guy with a strong arm, had some athletic ability, green as grass. We had him rated in the 4th round, not in the 2nd round. Thought he was a maybe type of guy. Maybe he makes it, maybe he doesn't as a starting quarterback.
And he's looking right now as a guy he's lost. He's not taking sacks, but he doesn't know where to go with the football.
Well, he's young, and so I'll make a couple of points. If you go through this whole year and you stick to your plan, the plan was play him, find out. At the end of the year, you're going to have enough information to decide we go forward with him or we go in another direction. The good news for the Viking fans is you got a darn good run defense and you got a heck of a running game. A couple of receivers starting to play a little better. I thought the right selection's there. So if you get to the end of the year, worst case scenario, and you don't think he's your guy, you got a lot of other things in place if you can find a quarterback.
So let me ask you this. You don't throw in the towel then because you want to Kelly Holcomb's your backup. He's a better option for the immediate. But that's not your future. So do you throw in the towel for the season and see if he can play, or do you try to win now and bring in Kelly Holcomb again? Charlie, what do you do?
I would put Holcomb in a game because I think that you got to find, if you can win games with Holcomb, then you go win the games with Holcomb and let Jackson sit on a bench and learn from there. Now, you can certainly make the point that Pat made, hey, at the end of the year, you won't know what Jackson is either, which puts you in a difficult position to be in. Personally, I'm not sold on Jackson, so I think they need a quarterback, period, myself.
And I'm starting to think that, too, and I think for the sake of the veterans and because the NFC probably is going to have an 8-8 team make the playoffs, and you could look right at your veteran players and realize we have enough talent here to make the playoffs, you probably want to play Holcomb. And at least go into the games going, if he struggles like this, and we're in the middle of a winnable game, and he's not able to perform, let's let Kelly take the second half. That kind of stuff, I'd be ready to do that.
And that could have happened. I mean, that could have helped if Kelly could have come in. And we saw some great play today by backup quarterback Sage Rosenfels. Was a good comeback with Houston. Kerry Collins with a nice drive to end it with Tennessee. We saw some good comeback play with backup quarterbacks. Who knows if Holcomb could have done that because his game was there for the taking. It wasn't that far out of the reach. Folks, for more on this game or any other, be sure to watch everything on CBSSports.com and all over the CBS Audience Network. For Pat Kerwin and Charlie Casserly, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care.